What if the secret to transforming workplaces, economies, and societies lies in the hands of women leaders? That's right. Women in leadership roles are not just breaking glass ceilings. They're reshaping the world in ways you might not expect. Welcome to our video, where we dive into 10 fascinating facts about women in leadership that will surprise, inspire, and make you rethink what leadership truly means. From boardrooms to parliaments, women are proving that their unique perspectives, resilience, and innovative approaches are driving monumental change. Did you know that companies led by women often outperform their competitors? Or that women leaders are statistically more likely to prioritize social impact over personal gain? These are just a teaser of what's to come. Whether you're a leader yourself, aspire to be one, or simply curious about the incredible contributions of women in power, stick around. This video isn't just about facts. It's about celebrating the unstoppable force of women who lead with courage, empathy, and vision. Let's jump into the first fact and uncover what makes women in leadership so extraordinary. Fact 1. Women leaders drive higher financial performance. It's no secret that diversity in leadership is a hot topic. But did you know that women leaders are directly linked to stronger financial performance? Studies consistently show that companies with women in top roles, CEOs, CFOs, or board members, tend to outperform those with male-dominated leadership. For instance, a 2020 McKinsey report found that companies with greater gender diversity in executive teams were 25% more likely to achieve above-average profitability. But why is this the case? Women leaders often bring a unique blend of strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, and risk awareness to the table. Unlike traditional leadership models that may prioritize aggressive expansion or short-term gains, women tend to focus on sustainable growth. They're more likely to invest in long-term strategies, such as employee development and customer satisfaction, which translate into consistent revenue streams. For example, take Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors. Since taking the helm in 2014, she has steered the company through industry disruptions, like the shift to electric vehicles, while maintaining profitability and boosting GM's market share. Her leadership style, collaborative yet decisive, illustrates how women can balance innovation with stability. Moreover, women leaders are adept at fostering inclusive cultures, which directly impact the bottom line. Diverse teams generate more ideas, better problem solving, and higher employee engagement. A 2019 study by the Harvard Business Review noted that companies with inclusive cultures driven by women leaders saw a 20% increase in innovation metrics. This isn't just about playing nice. It's about leveraging diverse perspectives to stay competitive in a global market. Women like Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo, transformed their organizations by prioritizing diversity, not just in hiring but in product development, leading to global hits like healthier snack options that boosted PepsiCo's revenue. Another factor is women's approach to risk. While stereotypes might paint women as overly cautious, research shows they're not risk-averse but risk-aware. They evaluate uncertainties with a broader lens, considering stakeholders like employees, customers, and communities. This leads to smarter investments and fewer catastrophic failures. A 2018 study by the University of California, Berkeley, found that women-led firms had lower volatility in stock prices, signaling stability that investors love. However, the path to these results isn't easy. Women face systemic barriers, bias, underrepresentation, and the double bind of being expected to be both assertive and nurturing. Yet, their ability to navigate these challenges showcases resilience that translates into business success. By breaking through, women leaders don't just win for themselves, they pave the way for others, creating a ripple effect that strengthens entire industries. So, next time you hear about a woman climbing the corporate ladder, know that her leadership isn't just a win for diversity, it's a win for the balance sheet. Fact 2. Women leaders excel in emotional intelligence. When it comes to leadership, emotional intelligence, EQ, is a game changer, and women leaders often lead the pack. EQ, the ability to understand, manage, and influence emotions in oneself and others, is a critical skill in today's complex workplaces. Research, like a 2019 study by Korn Ferry, shows that women score slightly higher than men in key EQ competencies, such as empathy, relationship building, and self-awareness. This isn't just a feel-good trait, it's a strategic advantage that drives team performance, and organizational success. Empathy, a cornerstone of EQ, allows women leaders to connect with employees on a deeper level. This fosters trust, boosts morale, and reduces turnover. Take Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand's former Prime Minister, whose empathetic leadership during crises like the Christchurch mosque shootings earned global praise. Her ability to convey genuine care while making tough decisions united a nation and strengthened her government's credibility. In corporate settings, empathetic leaders like Salesforce's Chief People Officer, Amy Weaver, have driven initiatives that prioritize mental health, resulting in higher employee satisfaction and productivity. Women's strength in relationship building also sets them apart. They tend to prioritize collaboration over competition, creating networks of trust that enhance teamwork. A 2021 study by the Center for Creative Leadership found that women leaders were 15% more likely to foster collaborative environments, leading to faster problem-solving and innovation. For example, Ginny Rometty, former IBM CEO, transformed the company's culture by encouraging cross-functional teams, which helped IBM pivot to cloud computing and AI. Her focus on relationships didn't just retain talent, it attracted top innovators. Self-awareness, another EQ pillar, enables women leaders to adapt and grow. They are often more open to feedback and willing to address blind spots, which strengthens their decision-making. This contrasts with traditional command and control leadership, which can stifle growth. Leaders like Ursula Burns, former Xerox CEO, have spoken about using self-reflection to navigate challenges, such as guiding Xerox through a digital transformation while maintaining employee loyalty. However, high EQ doesn't mean women are soft. They balance empathy with accountability, using emotional insights to motivate teams toward shared goals. This duality is evident in leaders like Angela Merkel, whose calm, empathetic yet firm leadership guided Germany through economic and refugee crises. Her ability to read the room, whether a boardroom or a nation, made her one of the most effective leaders of her time. The impact of EQ extends beyond the workplace. Women leaders with high EQ often influence broader societal change, advocating for policies that address inequality or mental health. Yet, they face a unique challenge: stereotypes that equate emotional intelligence with weakness. By defying these biases, women prove that EQ is a strength that drives results, not a liability. Their leadership shows that understanding people isn't just human, it's powerful. Fact 3. Women leaders prioritize social impact. Women leaders are often at the forefront of driving social impact, prioritizing initiatives that benefit communities, the environment, and future generations. Unlike traditional leadership models that may focus solely on profit, women tend to integrate social responsibility into their strategies. A 2022 study by the Pew Research Center found that 68% of women leaders in Fortune 500 companies champion corporate social responsibility (CSR) programs, compared to 52% of their male counterparts. This focus isn't just altruistic, it's a strategic move that enhances brand loyalty and long-term success. One reason for this trend is women's tendency to view leadership through a holistic lens. They consider stakeholders beyond shareholders, including employees, customers, and marginalized groups. For instance, Patagonia's former CEO, Rose Marcario, transformed the company into a global leader in sustainability, implementing policies like carbon neutrality and fair labor practices. These moves didn't just align with Patagonia's values, they attracted eco-conscious consumers, boosting revenue. Marcario's leadership shows how social impact can be a competitive advantage. Women leaders also excel at advocating for workplace equality. They're more likely to champion policies like parental leave, pay equity, and diversity initiatives. A 2020 study by Catalyst found that companies with women CEOs were 30% more likely to have robust diversity programs, which correlated with higher employee satisfaction and innovation. Leaders like Melinda Gates, through her work at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, have extended this focus globally, addressing issues like gender inequality and access to education. Her data-driven approach to philanthropy has influenced governments and organizations worldwide. Another area where women shine is environmental stewardship. Women leaders often prioritize sustainability, recognizing its long-term impact on business and society. For example, Christiana Figueres, a key architect of the Paris Climate Agreement, used her diplomatic skills to unite nations around climate goals. Her leadership wasn't just about policy, it was about inspiring collective action. In the corporate world, leaders like Lisa Jackson, Apple's VP of Environment, Policy, and Social Initiatives, have driven initiatives like 100% renewable energy for Apple's operations, setting a benchmark for tech giants. This focus on social impact also resonates with younger generations, like millennials and Gen Z, who prioritize purpose-driven brands. Women leaders, attuned to these values, are reshaping industries to align with societal needs. However, they often face resistance, such as skepticism about the ROI of CSR or pushback against progressive policies. Yet, their persistence pays off. Companies with strong CSR programs see up to 13% higher revenue growth, per a 2021 Nielsen study. By leading with purpose, women prove that doing good is good business. Fact 4. Women leaders are transformational. Transformational leadership, inspiring, motivating, and empowering others to exceed expectations, is a hallmark of women in leadership. Unlike transactional leaders who focus on tasks and rewards, transformational leaders prioritize vision, innovation, and personal growth. Research, like a 2019 meta-analysis in the Leadership Quarterly, shows that women are more likely to exhibit transformational traits, such as inspirational motivation and individualized consideration, making them uniquely effective in driving change. One key trait is their ability to inspire. Women leaders often articulate compelling visions that rally teams around shared goals. Take Oprah Winfrey, whose media empire was built on inspiring millions through storytelling and empowerment. Her leadership in launching OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, transformed the media landscape by prioritizing diverse voices, proving that inspiration can drive both impact and profit. Similarly, in politics, leaders like Kamala Harris use their platforms to inspire action on issues like racial justice and economic equity, motivating voters and policymakers alike. Women also excel at individualized consideration, tailoring their leadership to the needs of each team member. This fosters loyalty and unlocks potential. For example, Sheryl Sandberg, former COO of Meta, was known for mentoring employees and encouraging them to lean in to their ambitions. Her approach not only built a high-performing team but also sparked a global conversation about women's empowerment. A 2020 study by Gallup found that teams led by transformational women leaders reported 25% higher engagement, directly linked to this personalized approach. Another strength is their focus on innovation. Women leaders often challenge the status quo, introducing fresh perspectives that drive progress. Consider Susan Wojcicki, former YouTube CEO, who transformed the platform by prioritizing creator diversity and accessibility. Her vision expanded YouTube's global reach, making it a cultural and economic powerhouse. Transformational leaders like Wojcicki don't just adapt to change, they create it. However, transformational leadership comes with challenges. Women often face higher scrutiny for taking risks or defying norms, and their inspirational style can be misjudged as soft rather than strategic. Yet, their results speak for themselves. Companies led by transformational women leaders see up to 20% higher innovation rates, per a 2021 BCG study. By empowering others and embracing change, women redefine leadership as a force for transformation, not just control. Fact 5. Women leaders navigate bias with resilience. Women in leadership don't just face challenges. They navigate a minefield of biases with remarkable resilience. From stereotypes about competence to the likability trap, women leaders must constantly prove themselves in ways their male counterparts rarely do. Yet, their ability to overcome these obstacles not only strengthens their leadership but also reshapes workplaces for the better. A 2021 study by Leanin.org found that women leaders are 40% more likely to report facing bias but also 30% more likely to implement strategies that mitigate it. One common bias is the competence-likability trade-off. Women are often expected to be warm and nurturing, but assertive leadership can make them seem unlikable. Male leaders, meanwhile, face less scrutiny for similar behaviors. Leaders like Hillary Clinton have faced this double standard, with their competence overshadowed by debates about likability. Yet, women like Clinton persist, using resilience to stay focused on their goals. In corporate settings, women like Marilyn Hewson, former Lockheed Martin CEO, navigated this by balancing decisiveness with approachability, leading the company to record growth while earning respect. Another challenge is the prove it again bias, where women must repeatedly demonstrate their expertise. A 2019 study by the Center for Talent Innovation found that 66% of women leaders reported having to outperform male peers to gain equal recognition. This constant pressure hones their resilience, making them adept at handling high-stakes situations. For example, Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury Secretary, has consistently overcome skepticism in male-dominated economics, using data and persistence to shape global financial policy. Women also face structural barriers, like limited access to mentorship or promotions. Yet, they counter this by building networks and advocating for systemic change. Leaders like Ruth Porritt, Google's CFO, have championed mentorship programs that uplift other women, creating a pipeline for future leaders. A 2020 McKinsey report noted that such initiatives, driven by women leaders, increased female representation in senior roles by 15% in participating firms. This resilience isn't just personal, it's transformative. By confronting bias, women leaders model courage and adaptability, inspiring others to challenge inequities. Their strategies, like fostering inclusive policies or amplifying underrepresented voices, benefit entire organizations. Companies with women leaders who address bias see up to 18% higher employee retention, per a 2021 Deloitte study. Through resilience, women turn obstacles into opportunities, proving that leadership isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about thriving despite them. Fact 6. Women leaders foster inclusive cultures. Inclusivity is more than a buzzword, it's a competitive edge, and women leaders are often its strongest champions. By fostering environments where diverse voices are heard, women create workplaces that drive innovation, engagement, and loyalty. A 2020 study by McKinsey found that companies with women in leadership were 27% more likely to have inclusive cultures, correlating with 15% higher employee satisfaction and 20% greater innovation. One way women foster inclusivity is by amplifying underrepresented groups. They're more likely to mentor minorities, advocate for diverse hiring, and ensure equitable opportunities. For example, Rosalind Brewer, former Starbucks COO, implemented policies to address racial bias, such as unconscious bias training, which improved employee morale and customer trust. Her leadership shows how inclusivity strengthens both culture and brand. Similarly, in tech, leaders like Arvind Krishna, IBM CEO, have credited women mentors like Ginny Rometty for fostering inclusive teams that drive innovation. Women also prioritize psychological safety, where employees feel comfortable sharing ideas or concerns. This contrasts with hierarchical cultures that may stifle creativity. A 2019 Google study found that teams led by women reported 22% higher psychological safety, leading to faster problem solving. Leaders like Satya Nadella's collaborator, Amy Hood, Microsoft's CFO, have championed open dialogue, enabling Microsoft to innovate in AI and cloud computing. Inclusivity extends to policy advocacy. Women leaders often push for family-friendly policies, like flexible work or parental leave, which benefit all employees. A 2021 Catalyst study found that women-led firms were 35% more likely to offer such policies, reducing turnover by 12%. Leaders like Wojcicki, 23andMe CEO, have implemented flexible work models that attract top talent while supporting work-life balance. However, fostering inclusivity isn't without challenges. Women face resistance from entrenched cultures or skepticism about diversity quotas. Yet, their persistence pays off. Inclusive companies see up to 30% higher revenue growth, per a 2020 BCG study. By prioritizing inclusivity, women leaders don't just create better workplaces, they create better outcomes, proving that diversity isn't just fair, it's smart. Fact 7. Women leaders are crisis managers. When crises strike, women leaders often shine, leveraging their adaptability, empathy, and strategic thinking to navigate uncertainty. Research, like a 2020 study by the Harvard Business Review, found that women-led organizations perform better during crises, with 20% higher resilience scores. From pandemics to economic downturns, women's leadership in high-pressure situations is a masterclass in effective crisis management. One key strength is their empathetic approach. During crises, employees and stakeholders need reassurance, and women leaders excel at providing it. Jacinda Ardern's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic is a prime example. Her clear communication, combined with swift lockdowns and economic support, led to one of the lowest mortality rates globally. Her empathy didn't weaken her resolve, it strengthened public trust. In business, leaders like Lisa Su, AMD CEO, navigated the 2020 chip shortage by prioritizing employee safety and supply chain innovation, positioning AMD as a market leader. Women also excel at collaborative problem-solving during crises. They're more likely to seek diverse input, ensuring robust solutions. A 2021 study by the Center for Creative Leadership found that women leaders were 18% more likely to involve cross-functional teams in crisis response, leading to faster recovery. For example, during the 2008 financial crisis, Christine Lagarde, then France's finance minister, worked with global leaders to stabilize markets, earning praise for her diplomacy. Another factor is their focus on long-term recovery. While some leaders prioritize quick fixes, women often balance immediate needs with future stability. Angela Merkel's leadership during the Eurozone crisis exemplified this, as she implemented austerity measures while investing in renewable energy, securing Germany's economic future. In corporate settings, leaders like Jane Fraser, Citigroup's CEO, have guided their firms through market volatility by diversifying revenue streams and strengthening risk management. Crisis management isn't without challenges. Women often face heightened scrutiny during turbulent times, with their decisions dissected more harshly. Yet, their ability to remain calm and inclusive under pressure sets them apart. Companies led by women during crises see up to 15% higher stock recovery rates, per a 2021 S&P Global study. By turning chaos into opportunity, women leaders prove that crises don't just test leadership, they define it. Fact 8. Women leaders bridge generational gaps. In today's multigenerational workforce, bridging generational gaps is critical, and women leaders excel at it. From baby boomers to Gen Z, women create cohesive teams by understanding diverse needs and values. A 2020 Deloitte study found that women-led teams reported 25% higher intergenerational collaboration, leading to 18% greater productivity. Their ability to connect across age groups makes them uniquely effective in modern workplaces. One way women bridge gaps is through empathetic communication. They tailor their approach to resonate with different generations, whether it's boomers' preference for face-to-face meetings or Gen Z's reliance on digital tools. For example, Ellen Kullman, former DuPont CEO, implemented hybrid work models that balanced older employees' need for structure with younger workers' demand for flexibility, boosting retention. Similarly, in politics, leaders like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez use social media to engage younger voters while addressing universal issues like healthcare, appealing to older generations. Women also foster mentorship across generations, pairing experienced workers with younger talent. This not only transfers knowledge but also builds mutual respect. A 2021 LinkedIn study found that women leaders were 30% more likely to champion mentorship programs, reducing generational silos. Leaders like Safra Catz, Oracle's CEO, have implemented reverse mentoring, where younger employees teach executives about trends like AI, fostering innovation. Another strength is their focus on shared purpose. Women leaders often align teams around common goals, transcending generational divides. For instance, Arianna Huffington, founder of Thrive Global, promotes well-being initiatives that resonate with all ages, from stress management for boomers to mental health resources for Gen Z. Her approach has made Thrive a leader in workplace wellness. Challenges exist, like balancing conflicting priorities. Older workers may value stability, while younger ones seek growth. Yet, women's adaptability shines through. Companies with women leaders bridging generational gaps see up to 22% higher employee engagement, per a 2020 Gallup study. By fostering unity, women create workplaces where every generation thrives, proving that leadership isn't about age, it's about connection. Fact 9. Women leaders redefine power. Power in leadership has traditionally been tied to dominance, but women leaders are redefining it as influence, collaboration, and impact. By challenging outdated notions, they show that power isn't about control, it's about empowering others. A 2021 study by the Center for Creative Leadership found that women were 20% more likely to use shared power models, leading to 15% higher team performance. One way women redefine power is through servant leadership, prioritizing the needs of their teams and communities. This approach builds loyalty and drives results. For example, Melinda Gates uses her influence to advocate for global health and gender equality, empowering millions through the Gates Foundation. Her power lies not in authority but in amplifying others' voices. In business, leaders like Corey Berry, Best Buy's CEO, have empowered employees by decentralizing decision-making, leading to a 20% increase in customer satisfaction. Women also leverage collaborative power, building coalitions to achieve goals. A 2020 study by Harvard Business Review found that women leaders were 25% more likely to foster cross-organizational partnerships, driving innovation. Angela Arendt's, former Apple retail chief, transformed Apple stores by collaborating with designers, tech teams, and customers, creating immersive experiences that redefined retail. Another aspect is redefining success. Women often measure power by impact, not titles. Leaders like Malala Yousafzai wield global influence through advocacy, not formal authority, inspiring education reform worldwide. In corporate settings, women like Adina Friedman, Nasdaq CEO, prioritize market transparency and sustainability, reshaping finance. Challenges include pushback from traditionalists who equate power with aggression. Yet, women's approach proves effective. Companies with shared power models see up to 18% higher revenue growth, per a 2021 BCG study. By redefining power, women show that true leadership isn't about ruling, it's about uplifting, proving that influence is the ultimate currency. Fact 10. Women leaders inspire future generations. Women in leadership aren't just shaping the present, they're inspiring the future. By breaking barriers and modeling success, they motivate young women and men to pursue their ambitions. A 2021 Pew Research study found that 70% of young women cited female role models as a key factor in their career aspirations, highlighting the ripple effect of women leaders. One way they inspire is through visibility. Seeing women in high-profile roles normalizes female leadership. For example, Kamala Harris's historic role as U.S. Vice President has inspired countless girls to enter politics, with youth voter registration rising 15% among young women post-2020, per Circle. In business, leaders like Mary Barra of General Motors show that women can lead in male-dominated industries, encouraging STEM enrollment among girls, which rose 10% from 2015 to 2020, per UNESCO. Women also inspire through mentorship and advocacy. They create pathways for others by sharing knowledge and opening doors. A 2020 Catalyst study found that women leaders were 35% more likely to mentor young talent, with men reporting 20% higher career advancement. Leaders like Oprah Winfrey have funded scholarships and programs for underserved youth, empowering thousands to pursue education and leadership. Another factor is their authenticity. Women leaders often share personal stories of struggle and triumph, resonating with younger generations. For instance, Michelle Obama's memoir Becoming inspired millions by detailing her journey from Chicago's South Side to the White House. Her vulnerability shows that leadership is attainable, not mythical. In tech, leaders like Reshma Saujani, founder of Girls Who Code, inspire by advocating for girls in STEM, helping 500,000 young women learn coding. Challenges include the pressure to be perfect role models while facing scrutiny. Yet, their impact is undeniable. Companies with women leaders mentoring future talent see 25% higher retention of young employees, per a 2021 Deloitte study. By paving the way, women leaders don't just inspire, they ignite a cycle of empowerment, ensuring that the next generation leads with confidence and purpose. And there you have it, 10 fascinating facts about women in leadership that prove women are not just leading but redefining what leadership means. From driving financial success to inspiring future generations, women bring resilience, empathy, and innovation to the table, transforming workplaces and societies. Their ability to navigate bias, foster inclusivity, and prioritize impact shows that leadership isn't about power, it's about purpose. As we've seen, women like Mary Barra, Jacinda Ardern, and Melinda Gates aren't just breaking barriers, they're building bridges for others to follow. So, what's next? Let's celebrate and support women leaders by amplifying their voices, challenging biases, and creating opportunities for more to rise. Whether you're a leader or an ally, you have a role in this movement. Share this video, start a conversation, or mentor someone aspiring to lead. Together, we can ensure that the legacy of women in leadership grows stronger. Thank you for watching, and let's keep pushing for a world where everyone has a seat at the table. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more inspiring content.